Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, reaction to Thursday night's wild finish between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Plus, will the Cowboys end their slide against the Niners on Sunday? And what to make of Lonzo Ball's poor performance in his NBA debut. Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The Raiders ended their 4-game losing streak with an unbelievable win against the Chiefs and one of the craziest endings ever. Derek Carr hit Jared Cook for what looked like the go-ahead touchdown with under 30 seconds left, but they reviewed the play and said Cook was down at the 1-yard line. Then on the next 3 plays, there was a pass interference on the Raiders and 2 holding penalties on the Chiefs. So after all that, with no time on the clock, Carr hit Michael Crabtree for the game-winning touchdown. The Raiders won 31-30. Let's take a listen to Jack Del Rio's reaction to the win.
You know, the crab push-off, I mean, it was kind of in that collection of plays tonight that I thought didn't have to be called. Could have been left alone, but it was called. You know, we just kept going. And number 4 kept making plays. And just a special win.
There's nothing, you know, technical about it. You know, at that point, I'm telling them, the guys in the huddle that, look, guys, I got to give somebody a chance now. Go make a play. And they did a couple of times. There's one thing about Crab, it doesn't matter what happens throughout the rest of the game, you know, he always shows up. And, you know, he definitely, obviously he did at the end there twice. Made 2 big plays for us.
Shannon, have you ever seen a finish like that?
No, I've never seen one, nor have I ever been involved with one where the game ended with 3 straight penalties, well, 4 and a 4-play sequence. You have penalty, game-winning touchdown. No, I've never seen anything like that. And the thing was, they got every single call right. Because if you look at the Michael Crabtree skip, his hands extended. And even if you do...
I'm not calling that.
But here's the thing. Once the official sees the arm extend and the DB goes down...
I thought it was just a little hand fighting.
No, but...
You would have called that? You're a receiver.
They probably would not have called it had Peterson not slipped. So it made it look more egregious. So I can live with the call. The 2 on the Kansas City, all that about, well, they don't call holding twice, but yeah, they do. When they're so egregious where you have to call it.
I agree.
You have to call it. And I love the design of the last play because you got a right-handed quarterback.
Well, did you love it? I was shocked by it.
And they rolled
He's running the wrong way.
Exactly, because normally once that quarterback starts on the dash, everybody knows it's going to be sprint option that side. So obviously you're not thinking. But for me, and I tweeted this, I said he's going to Cook or he's going to Crabtree. I tweeted the emoji, a little chef, and then I had the crab. Because in a situation like that, Skip, you want a big body guy or you want to throw the ball to a guy that you know can make tough catches. And Crabtree is that type of guy. Cook had made tough catches leading up to that point. So I felt very comfortable in saying he's going to one of those 2 guys.
Why didn't you just tweet he's going to Crabtree? Why did you cover your bet?
Because Cook had made some big plays. That big.
Oh,
well, you know about Cook.
Do I?
He picked up
He's a cowboy killer.
He picked up where he left out last year to play.
A pitch and a catch. That was like an easy catch, wide open.
And the thing is that, like I said, I like the design of it. And the Raiders to fight back, to be down at the start of the 4th by 9 points and to somehow find a way after they'd lost the last couple of games. Because last year, these were the type of games that they were winning all the time. They had 7 close, final possession games in which they won. And this year, they had lost such said games. So, but the Raiders are not out of the woodwork yet, Skip. When you look at their schedule, they still have, they get 11-day or 10-day layoff. But they still have at Buffalo, at Miami. And then they get New England, the Broncos, Kansas City again, Dallas.
I know, but at least they have a chance now. They were about to not have a chance.
If they lose that game, they're dead.
They're dead.
They're dead because guess what? They'd be over within the division. And they still have to go to San Diego. They still would have to turn and go to Kansas City. So they needed this win. Derek Carr played well for them. He played unbelievable last night. Amari Cooper, there's Amari Cooper sighting, Skip.
Finally.
But boy, did he show up. The first couple of games, he didn't do a whole lot.
No.
But he showed up last night. He showed what he's made of. So the Raiders, kudos for them finding a way to pull this game out.
I agree. In all my years of covering the National Football League, covering sports for that matter, I've never seen a more bizarre end to what was basically a do-or-die game for the home team.
Yes.
And I thought it was die. It just felt like they weren't going to figure it out because they just kept doing their typical boneheaded plays. They missed 2 field goals. One got blocked by Tavecchio. And it got so crazy, I wasn't sure Tavecchio could make the extra point to win the game. I thought it might be in overtime because he looked like you know how kickers just go south mentally. It looked like he might have just gone south because they await Janikowski's return.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. The NFL put him on ice because they had to review the play to make sure it was a touchdown. So he had to wait a little longer than normal.
That is correct. And then we had the other bizarre play where Keith McGill, the Raiders' safety, it's all-time bonehead. He goes up and it's like an easy pick, man. It's just like you're running 30 yards the other way. And he, at the last second, he decides, I think I'll just bat it up in the air. But you tipped it right to him, and he scored. So they deserved to win this game, and it felt like they were going to blow another game.
Correct.
And I'm with you. I want to welcome back the Oakland Raiders because I want to welcome back that quarterback. That was the first time this year that I saw that guy that I kept seeing last year.
Correct. That
guy who in the ESPN poll of the players that we talked about yesterday, again, they said who will win the most Super Bowls in the next 10 years. It was Tom Brady, and second was Derek Carr. And when I first saw it, because he's been so not Derek Carr this year, I thought, really, Derek Carr? Because they must have taken the poll back and, maybe in camp. And in this case, he was Brady-esque in that last drive because I remind everybody, he started at his 15-yard line with 2:25 left. And he goes to that guy who used to be Amari Cooper. He goes 15, and then he goes 39 to Amari. And I'm like, wow, there's that guy. Right. There's that kid we used to see at Alabama. And yet it comes down to, in the last drive, 4th and 11 at the Kansas City 42, and I'm thinking it's just game over. Surely they're not, they can't convert this one. And he throws it to that Cowboy killer, Jared Cook. That was the play of the game to me because if you don't make that one, it's season over. Yes. And Jared Cook came up big. Sometimes he doesn't come up big, but he did in that case. And then he has to convert. Then it's 3rd and 10 at the 29, and he throws it to Jared Cook, and it looks like a touchdown, so the ref misses the call on the field. They have to review it, and his butt's down sort of at the half-yard line. Correct. Okay, and I'm good with that. That was correct. And yet, I'm not good with the offensive interference. Again, this is let the players play. I'm really surprised that you would look at it that way. I would think you'd say, just let them push a little bit. Let them hand fight. Yeah, but I didn't think it was that. Yeah, but Marcus Peters did fall down. I get you.
And it looked like he slipped, but the officials saw this. The guy's on the ground, automatic.
Because that's when I tweeted, the refs just stole the game from the Oakland Raiders. Okay. But you do get another shot, and then the incredible thing to me is as great as Derek Carr played down the field, then on the next Jared Cook play, he obviously gets grabbed as he's running his route. Right. But then he breaks free of the hold. Yeah. And he is wide open, and Derek Carr steps up and does one of the – do you remember the Roger Staubach to Jackie Smith playing the Super Bowl where Jackie said, it's just so easy, you do this? Like here, and – he throws it way too high, and Jared Cook actually, because he floated it, jumped a little too soon, and they blow it because that's game over, right? Isn't that it? It's over because you just declined the hold, obviously. And so all of a sudden, you get the first untimed down on the hold, and it's Cordero Patterson at the back of the end zone, and he did get mugged all the way to the back of the end zone, so the refs got that call right, so we get another untimed down. And again, you thought it was a great call. When he rolled the wrong way to his left, I was like, what are you doing?
Because you don't expect it.
I didn't expect it, but it's harder. It's just a little harder to go that way. And then he just throws a low strike to Crabtree, who will make those tough kind of catches that Amari hasn't routinely made. Correct. So I'm with you. Those were the cardiac kids that we saw last year. They were pulling rabbits out of their hats again and again because they won 8 of their 12 games by less than a touchdown, and a bunch of them were late. Last drive. Like miracle drives. Yes. So I look at the standings now, and all of a sudden, Kansas City looks a little vulnerable. That's a big win for the New England Patriots because the Patriots are back in the home field chase now, right? Yep. Because they're 4-2. Steelers have a little edge at 4-2 because they got the tiebreaker at this moment. But look at the West. It hadn't even started now because Denver's 3-2, Raiders 3-4, Chargers still not out of it at 2-4. So it's just now getting going.
And the Chargers play the Broncos this week.
There you go. So to me, that changed the whole balance of power in the division. And what a sight to behold it was, because the NFL's better when the Raiders are back.
But what happened to Kansas City's pass rush? They throw the ball 50-plus times and not one sack. Now, I did think one of those calls was bogus. They called the illegal hand to the face to Murray on Cook when the Bayless basically snatched the ball out of Carr's hand. Now, I don't agree with that call, but on that final possession, Skip, those last 3.
They weren't getting home. He was stepping up a lot, but they were not getting home like they got home against Tom Brady on Thursday night in Foxborough in the opener. I agree. I don't know. And the other player that I said they were going to miss off that Thursday night game, unfortunately, Eric Berry went down late in that game. And I think last night, if they had Eric Berry down in the red zone.
Well, he'd have been guarding Cook.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm not sure that the Raiders get out alive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good
win for the Raiders.
Wild night. And there was more to it. Marshawn Lynch was ejected in the second quarter last night when he ran on the field from the sidelines and pushed an official. Marcus Peters was called for a late hit on Derek Carr, which led Marshawn to run onto the field. In typical Marshawn fashion, he then went into the stands to watch the rest of the game. He's in disguise, though. No one could tell it was him. Shannon, how should he be punished for this?
Well, the league is already, because anytime you get suspended, they deem that's your punishment, and then you'll be fined. But here's where it gets interesting. I've never seen a guy come off the bench.
I haven't either.
Not in football. In basketball, we see a lot of this. We see this in baseball when guys come out the dugout. Skip, I've never seen anything like this.
And he had to go far.
Exactly. I've never seen a guy that's not involved in the field of, in the action, the field of play, come off the sideline, get involved in the melee, ends up shoving an official. Now, I get it. I guess he and Peters are cousins. And I looked it up, and that Peters, when he went to the University of Washington, he lived with Marshawn when Marshawn played with Seattle. So obviously they're family, but family on the field and family in the streets is something entirely different. And there's a different set of rules. Yep. I would be shocked if he's not suspended for at least one game for coming into the field of play after being on the sideline, because you don't want this precedent. You don't want guys you don't want fighting to begin with in any sport. Maybe hockey, maybe they condone it in hockey. But especially football and basketball, because C.J. McCollum for the Blazers, he got suspended first game for leaving the bench at a preseason game. Football, I've never seen this. And I know Commissioner Goodell, he got a lot on his plate currently, but he'll take a very interesting look at this. I would be shocked if Marshawn does not get at least one game, because you don't want to set this bad precedent. But Skip, what led Marshawn to come on the field, I don't agree with the flag on Peters. Derek Carr was not down. Going down is one thing.
I agree with you.
On the ground is something entirely different.
I agree.
That was not a late hit. He didn't hit him with his helmet. He hit him with his pads.
He did.
So I don't agree with the flag that led to this.
I'm with you on this one. I agree. And Derek Carr said after the game that he likes Marcus Peters. He knows him and appreciates the way he plays football.
Right.
And he said, I was fighting for more yards, and he deserved to hit me on that play. But then he said, of course, I appreciate my teammates having my back.
Correct.
But what Marshawn did was a little nuts, man. I mean, it's like loose screw kind of stuff, like out of your mind, over the edge, you lost it for a second kind of stuff.
He must have been on that yak.
I don't know. I mean, seriously. To sprint, as far as you said, all the way to midfield, and then to engage with the referee, and maybe I shouldn't bring this up, but it was a black referee.
Yeah.
And the black referee is asking Marshawn to just calm down. and not only did he grabbed him for a second and pulled on him, and then he pushed him. What?
In the heat of the moment, Skip, you don't really thinking about it. I was in a game on a Monday night. We were playing the Raiders, and it happened to Rod. Yeah. He and the DB were shoving, and the official came. And Rod, not knowing, he thinking it's something, because when you grab me,
no, I got that.
He shoved him. Yeah. So Marshawn, at that time, he's thinking it's another player.
I don't know, but they were face to face. It was like he just lost it for a second.
I see you, but I really don't see you.
Okay, and this is just me. If this were not Marshawn Lynch from Oaktown, born and raised, if this were Joe Smith and you looked at Joe Smith's production, Marshawn had a good opening day at Tennessee, but then the last 6 games, he's been kind of less than ordinary.
Right.
You know? If it were Joe Smith with these kind of numbers, I think Joe Smith might get cut today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Seriously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they'd say, what is this? We don't need this. And they went on and won the game without him. Not that they rushed for a lot of yards, but Jalen Richard and that other kid, DeAndre Washington, I don't know. They're not great, but they muddled through. One had an 11-yarder, one had a 10-yarder. Not big yards.
No, but I mean, 21 carries, 88 yards, 4.2, enough.
Yep.
But I think they didn't run the ball as much as they'd like because they were behind. So you got to throw the ball 52 times.
Yep.
So when you throw the ball 52 times, you're not going to get the 30, 35 rush attempts.
Yeah, and by the way, I thought Kansas City made the mistake of putting the game too much back in Alex Smith's hands because Kareem Hunt didn't get enough carries.
Yes.
But in this case, I assume just because he's Marshawn Lynch, I'm pretty sure he's going to be on the team going forward.
Yeah. I think for me, Skip, I'm looking at this game. There's a play that no one's really paying attention to, and I thought this is where Kansas City lost the game. They threw a pass, what we call a short cross, where the tight end sits up over the ball to Travis Kelce. And instead of trying to get up in his shadow, he tried to go laterally. And so instead of having a possible first down, because Navarro Bowman was coming downhill, but I believe if he turns up, steps to his right, he gets the first down.
Okay.
Now instead of having to settle for a field goal because they brought the blitz, Bowman loops around, brings pressure on Smith. He throws it early. The guy's not ready. You have to settle for a field goal, as opposed to having a first down, running even more time off the clock and possibly getting a touchdown. But those are the things that players have to understand, need to know the situation. It's not important to me to get a big play. It's important for me to get a first down. And so you always have to factor that in. Where am I? What's the situation of the ball game? We're up. Man, if we get a first down here, not only do we have a potential chance of getting a touchdown, but we're going to run at least another minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock. So you have to factor all those things in. But give the Raiders credit. They had lost 4 straight. And when you're down by this many points late in the ball game, you started like, man, this is not our year, because they were never in a situation like this last year. But give the Raiders credit, give their offense. I'm still have concerns about their defense, Skip. Their secondary isn't very good. And I'm being nice today. Because it's Friday. I'm going to be nice today.
That's not true. Wait till we talk about the Cowboys.
I'm going to be
nice.
nice.
How nice you are.
No, I said I'm going to be nice today.
Yeah.
Not the whole day, just part of the day.
Part of the day?
Yeah. But Kansas City, all of a sudden, what we thought was the best team, they've shown major vulnerabilities.
They have.
The inability to rush the quarterback, and their secondary. Now, Peters is special, but I agree with you, Skip. I think they're missing Barry a little bit more than we even thought they would, because the pass rush, we're like, okay, they still have Houston and D4. They still got some guys that can get home.
Yep.
But Barry, his ability to be able to take the tight end man-to-man.
So the Raiders just turned it around, and now it's time for the Cowboys to turn it. Yes, it is. This is the weekend.
CJ.
Well, as far as Lynch goes and getting suspended, Schefter noted that he could be fined over $30,000 for making contact with an NFL official, but Aaron Donald didn't receive a suspension last year, and he received an ejection for making contact with the referee. So,
but he was in the field of play when it happened.
Right, but he didn't run the sidelines in the middle of the field to get involved. So, no mercy. The Raiders beat the Chiefs last night in one of the craziest endings ever. With 7 seconds left and the Raiders down by 6, Michael Crabtree was called for offensive pass interference. Then there were back-to-back holding penalties on the Chiefs. And finally, with no time on the clock, Derek Carr hit Crabtree for the game-winning touchdown. Final score, 31-30 Raiders. We're joined by former NFL defensive coordinator Rob Ryan. Welcome, Rob.
Good to be here.
Styling again today.
Yeah, I tell you what. How about that Thursday night football? I don't hear any complaints about Thursday night.
I know, it's come around.
Playing early. Every great game is a Thursday night game.
It's definitely come around this year.
What an unbelievable game.
Did you like the officiating at the end of the game?
Not really. I think when you get that low in the red zone, you know, as Shannon knows, like he did it all his life, it's a fight down there.
It is.
I mean, it is a street fight. You got 2 tough guys going at it on the first one with Peters going against Crabtree. And that shouldn't have been called, in my opinion. Was it an offensive pass interference? Sure, but he's got to turn and win that fight. Right. I mean, that's all it is. The other 2 guys that got the holding penalties after that, they were overmatched.
Right.
You know, there's a place in football for a good little man. It's just not in front of a good big one. Yeah. And that's what it is down there. Like, you can't put a little guy, and Son's a better coach than that. Do they miss Eric Berry?
Yes,
Gee,
they do.
I'd say so.
Yep.
But get in there and fight and put your cleats in the ground and hold your ground. They're grabbing and all that, so they call it. But, look, that game wasn't decided by the officiating. The Raiders wanted it more, I think. There's no D in Oakland.
No.
For either team.
Yeah.
One of them schematics are terrible. You know, I've never seen so much. You have the best pass rusher in football in Mack.
Right.
Best pass rusher.
Yeah.
Well, why he doesn't have 30 sacks every year? Well, he should, but when you play soft coverage on third down, I could complete the ball.
Right.
Like, you're not giving him a chance to get to the quarterback. What you have to do is tighten the coverage up so when the quarterback looks, there's nowhere to go, and it's well, you're going to get hit by Mack.
Right.
Nobody can block him.
Right.
You know,
Special.
he is, and you know, so that was a shame. But I think fundamentally Kansas City's defense was off. You know, they're playing coverages that help on crossers, and there's no help on the crosser.
Yeah, the safety's supposed to jump the crosser.
Yeah,
But he stays high.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. And then the two linebackers in the box playing off the back who goes through the line to run a burst route, you're picking up the backside backer on those crossers. And it was just a fundamental nightmare for the Chiefs. But what a great game. I'll tell you what, you got to tip your hat to Tice, the O-line coach for the Raiders.
Yeah.
First of all, they got a backup right tackle, a kid from LSU. I never even saw Houston in the game.
I didn't either. I thought he did a great job on Houston.
Unbelievable job. And I know Penn can block, and, you know, he's done
Slimale and Hudson.
Right.
They got a good offensive line.
They've got a great offensive line, and they bring attitude. You know, and then Tice has to win the fight on the sideline to break that up. So, I mean, you know, here's the thing with Tice. He's big enough to do that.
Is.
Right.
He's capable.
You know, but, you know, I've seen guys go at it, and the first thing you do is back up and let them fly because these are grown men.
Y'all handle that. I ain't getting punched in my face.
Yeah,
Who was that? Penn and Crabtree?
It was Penn and Crabtree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those two big men. I'm stepping back, going to watch them fall, let it break, all right, and then do something. But Tice is big enough to do it. But what a great game. You know, the NFL looks good.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I'm going to stick on this point that you and I disagreed on because this was the flashpoint of the whole final sequence of the game. To Crabtree on a very good corner who will just fight your tail off. Marcus Peters. You want to talk about playing? You want to talk about competing?
Yes.
But on this play where it's deciding the football game, just let him hand fight. And again, you did make the point. I think Marcus Peters slipped down, but he didn't get pushed down. And the ref has to be savvy enough and on the ball enough just to let it go, because it's a touchdown that ends the game, and you flag that for just a little bit of this. Right. It's just let the players decide, and they didn't let the players decide. So the referees have their hands all over, as did the Kansas City defenders, but on 4 of the 5 plays down there deep in the red zone, except for the last play, it's ref. But they got the 2 holds right because they were blatant, outrageous holds. Right. That wasn't blatant and outrageous, and I was surprised you, a receiver, would defend the cornerback on that.
Well,
play.
I just know what they're instructing the officials to do. When they see the hand extend and the defender goes down, they're going to call that flag. But if the middle one, when they caught Jerry Cook, the guy was so afraid he was going to lose his balance. That's why he grabbed Cook, so he wouldn't. If he'd have just went ahead and failed, they'd have called it on Cook. But he was so afraid that he was going to fall, he was trying to catch his balance, and he grabbed Cook and yanked him forward, and Cook still had a chance to catch the touchdown. He just mistimed his jump, and the ball carried him off his hands. But Skip, in that situation, the question is, were they fouls? I believe they were fouls. And even though, you know, it's close proximity, it's the last couple of plays of the ball game, if it's a foul in the first quarter, it's a foul then. And the officials, I believe they got it right. But Kansas City should have never been in that position. They should have went ahead and taken care of business. But give the Raiders credit. They found a way to hang around. Because I agree with you, Skip, as you said earlier. If they had lost this game to make it 5 straight and they're 0-3 in the division, they're not coming back from that. When you look at their schedule down the road, they still got Dallas. They still got Philly. They still got to go to Kansas City, got to go to San Diego. No, that would not have been good for them.
And yet, as great as Derek Carr played, the other play late in the game that just knocked me off my chair was there's an early hold, as you point out, little man on big man.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Jared Cook is wide open, and Derek Carr steps up through the rush, and there's nobody left. In fact, he had a chance to run it in, but at the last second, he says, here, I'm just going to lob this up for you. And he airmails him, and Jared Cook, because it's a soft throw, jumps too quick, and they screw it up. It's like a gimme touchdown, and he can't come down with it. But the hold was already, it's like an Aaron Rodgers play. Well, you get a free play because you knew it was already coming. The flag was already thrown. And so they get another crack, and then it's a blatant mugging in the back of the end zone on Patterson. And you get another play, and I told Shannon, he said it was a great call, but you just don't see the quarterback roll to his left to make the last play. And when he rolled to his left, I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if this is going to work, to the short side of the field.
Get a guy's hand up in his face. I mean, that was disgusting. No edge of the defense. I'm telling you, fundamentally, it was a disaster for Kansas City.
Because normally when you see that dash, I don't know how you coached it, Rob, but normally when you see the dash, they say somebody comes right now. Because you want to get in his face to make him, first of all, you want to make him pull up, and then you want to block his vision. So it looks like Derek Johnson was coming from the middle, but he started too late. Because when you get that run through like that, now a bad thing could possibly happen. But that's what Green Bay did to Dallas in the playoff games. They caught him up. You're not thinking that a right-handed quarterback
That's where he rolled right left. But you moved the whole pocket with him on that play, not this one.
Usually that dash play goes to the left, for the defense's left. Now it's coming to the right. But the bottom line is, first of all, fundamentally, you're in a 6 technique. Get outside leverage. They're not going to run the football when you just show that alignment on defense. They're not going to run it. Get out in a spot where you can stop the run-pass option or just the dash pass and get a hand in his face. I mean, you can alter the throw by that. I know Johnson was trying to add, but just the fundamental alignment of the thing wasn't right. And it was all night like that, and it's disappointing to see. There's no defense played at all. The only defense they had in the entire game, I swear Del Rio had to call it, because every 3rd and 3 to 6, they kept playing cover 3. The Raiders. Well, that's interesting, because cover 3, there's a no-cover zone. It's a first down. They throw the ball to flat, nobody there. They throw the ball inside to Kelsey, nobody there. It's like, this is disgusting. Compete, do something. They finally blitzed off the edge, and I swear that changed the game.
But you see what they started doing to Kelsey. They started banging him on the way out.
Well, you can chip them.
And then was taking Bruce Irving, banging.
That was with the 3-man front. And that was another good play. There's 2 plays in a row on 3rd down they made that changed the game, because they were 0 for it at the time.
Now you want that Cowboy front. See, now Rob wanted him to get in that wide 9 so he could he'd be on the edge.
That's on 3rd down, not on first at Philadelphia wide 9. Trust me. Hey, look, I played a whole season of wide 9, in Oakland, because that's what, with Al Davis, you had to play the safety deep. You had to play cover 3, but. So that wide 9's not new to me, but I know you can't stop the run in it.
No, could it go run up inside of you?
And that's coming. Everybody's going to see that in Philadelphia.
Well, guess what? The sun came back up last night late in Oakland. Because they're back in business, because you look at this division now, Kansas City 5-2, Denver 3-2, Raiders 3-4, not out of it, and the Chargers aren't out of it, 2-4. So I think it's just getting started.
I don't love the Raiders' defense, though. I mean, am I going to expect their offense? Am I going to expect Derek Carr to throw for 419, 417 yards every game? Because that defense, from what we've seen all year, that defense has been bad.
Okay, but
no turnovers.
He threw for 417 against Kansas City's defense, which wasn't any better. So all of a sudden, the team that seemed to be running away with the AFC period, I think they just came back to the pack.
I think their pass rush will be better, though. I mean, Kansas City's pass rush will be better. They're going against an offensive line that doesn't give up sacks. Carr's got the great release. So look, I've never seen Houston handled that way.
No, I haven't either.
So tips, hat to that back.
It gets no easier for Kansas City next week, Denver.
Good.
I wonder who you're going to pick in
that
game.
Ain't no telling.
Here we go.
Man, no telling them Broncos.
Thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
The Cowboys are a 6-point favorite at the 49ers Sunday on Fox. Ezekiel Elliott will be on the field, which is good news for Dallas since they've lost 2 straight. The 49ers are winless this season, but their last 5 losses have been by a total of 13 points. All right, Shannon, it's time.
It's time.
Give me your pick.
I think the game will be close. As you mentioned, Jordan, the read that the 49ers have been playing the last 5 games. They're 0-6. First game was a blowout, but all the rest of the games have been fairly close. I think this game will be close, but I just believe the Cowboys have too much talent. They have the time off. They're coming off a bye week, so I expect them. I'm going to say 24-23 Cowboys.
24-23?
24-23 Cowboys. I think
So you're picking the Cowboys.
That shows just how much confidence I got in your team. I believe Rod Marinelli will do something that he doesn't normally do, and that's get out of his comfort zone and blitz a little bit more. C.J. Beathard, this is his first start. Let's show him some looks that he hadn't seen. Let's show him something and try to hit him in his back of his head and see if we can get a turnover. Try to get the ball out. Now, what we've seen from the Cowboys in their 3 losses, C.J. Anderson ran for over 100. Todd Gurley ran for over 100. Last week, Jones against Green Bay ran for over 100.
And who was missing in the Cowboy defense?
That's good. All I'm saying, he was there against Denver. Okay. All I'm saying.
Nobody was there against Denver. Nobody.
All I'm saying is, Joy, is that if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going to make C.J. Beathard beat me throwing the football. I know Carlos Hyde can run the ball and keep my offense off the field. So my job is to make sure they don't get anything running, force C.J. to throw the football, maybe give him a couple of looks that he hasn't seen, can get me a couple of turnovers. They're not a big turnover team because when you play that style of defense and you can't generate pressure to make the guy throw off his back foot or get a strip sack or something, you're not going to generate turnover because your secondary, Skip, you already know.
Yep.
Oh, I love Jordan Lewis. I love Brown. I love Heath. Jeff Heath, I don't know why he wasn't starting. Oh, after 5 games,
Have
you
I
know
said
why.
I love Jeff Heath lately?
No.
In the last 5 weeks, I have not.
Oh,
Thank you.
Why you
Have I not been campaigning for Darrell Revis or Antonio Cromartie to be signed and/or both of them?
You see what happens when a guy's a backup, everybody loves him. But there's a reason why he was a backup. To Barry took me to church and J.J. Wilcox. Now he gets an opportunity to play. He's not playing well. You don't want to talk about it.
Think about this. Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game threw 2 interceptions to a backup named Jeff Heath.
He threw 1.
Terrible.
He threw 1.
Well, it got canceled. He threw it to him, but it was some bogus call about something.
Don't do that, Skip. That's so unbecoming of you.
No, it's not.
That's
Well, it was. Anthony Brown gets some bump call. I don't know what it was. It was ticky-tack.
No, it wasn't no ticky-tack.
It was a big overthrow right to Jeff Heath.
What about the congratulations? Thank you, Shannon, for picking my Cowboys.
Well, I'm not going to congratulate you. I'm going to challenge you on why you've been saying because they had a bye week.
Yep.
You've been saying for about 10 days on this show that you were going to pick the 49ers. And I challenged you. I said, let's put 5 cases of dew on this game.
No.
This is the turning point game. And you said you'll think about it.
No.
And now you're barely picking the Cowboys.
Barely.
You had to pick them by 1 point.
Barely.
But that shows that you are sweating. That shows that you are doubtful about your early pick of San Francisco upsetting Dallas, right?
Skip, there's a reason why, and Joy said they lost 5 games, by 3 points. That means they're not very good because good teams find ways to win those tight ball games.
Well, at least they hung in. They showed some fight.
This ain't participation.
Yeah.
You get checks.
Oh.
Only time participation matters is you're not getting paid for your services.
Yep.
So I don't care nothing about participation or keeping games close. I care about wins and losses. That's how you judge in pro sports. Wins, losses. I don't care nothing about no close. I ain't slow dancing. I ain't throwing grenades or horseshoes. So they lost. 0-6. Now thank me. Say, well, Shannon, thank you for picking my Cowboys. They're going to win a game.
We
finally.
usually jinx them when you pick them. So I am actually sweating your pick because I needed it, and I felt so good about winning my 5 cases of dew. I came in here excited today, and now you have popped my balloon by picking my Cowboys and jinxing them. And it may be a little reverse psychology on your part. Like, let's see, if I pick them, I cover 2 bases because if they win, I'll be okay on Monday. I could say, I told you so. But if they lose, then I knew I jinxed them.
No. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to coax me into go ahead and pick them and get 5 cases of dew, but it's not going to happen.
You know what? That's a good idea.
No.
I'm going to give you a chance right here on live
I don't
national
want no
TV.
chance.
You can reverse field.
I went first in the segment, so I had an opportunity to pick them, and I chose not to. I'm picking the Cowboys 24-23. Now, can you make your points on why the Cowboys are going to win and stop harassing me?
I will even give you the 6 points. Dallas is a 6-point favorite.
No,
I will give you the 6 right here, right now.
Skip,
okay, for one case of due, I'll give you 6
No,
points.
no.
Wow.
No.
You're seeing the light.
No.
You're coming around.
Skip, look at this team. This is a team with a rookie quarterback that's 0-6.
Yeah.
Now, if the Cowboys are smart, they'll come out and play their best. You don't want to be going to the fourth quarter with this team still having a chance to beat you. And like I tell, be expecting some of anything. Fake punts, onside kicks, fourth downs, they're getting, other side of the 50, they might be going for it because they have nothing to lose. So with that being said.
Did you watch C.J. Beathard last week? He was great late against Redskins.
There was no film on.
Well, you got some.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't have.
Yeah, you would have none then. No.
Yeah, I mean, you got Iowa film. Well, if you prep right, you should know something about C.J. Beathard.
No. Skip, can you make your point? I'm not picking 49.
I'll give you one more chance.
No, I don't want more chance.
If you had the guts, if you had the courage of your convictions, your Cowboy-hating convictions, you would just say, okay, I give in to this. I'll take the 6.
Okay, but hey, Steve, go get my guts out the dressing room. I left them there.
You left them
because I'm not picking this.
I'm not left them at home. I don't think you even brought them.
I'm not taking the 49ers to beat the Cowboys.
Okay. So I'm going to be upfront about this.
You scared?
Unfortunately, I am scared. Well, I mean, this is it, man. I didn't think it would come to this. A game at San Francisco.
Yes.
This is a make or break. This is north or south. This is, I hate to put it in these terms, this is win or wait until next year, right? This is what the Raiders were up against, and they had Kansas City, albeit at their place in the black hole, but they had Kansas City, the quote-unquote best team in pro football. This is the worst team in pro football, at least by record. 0-6 San Francisco, albeit on the road at San Francisco. And now we find out, what are you made of? Because I haven't been sure what you're made of. Are you true or false? Are you real or fake? Are you back in the saddle, or are you flash in the pan? It's time to find out, because this is where you find out. Bogus. So I'm going to say back in the saddle. I'm going to say not flat. You're saying bogus? Okay, then have the courage of your convictions. Pick it. I'll give you 6 points.
No, I don't want the points.
For one Diet Mountain Dew, not a case, just a single Dew. I'll bet you one bottle. And I'll give you 6 points, because that's what Vegas says.
Why is it so important for you? Why do you want me to pick?
Because he thinks you're a jinx.
Yeah.
No.
And I also can see that look, and I can see that body language.
I want them to win this game, because I want them to do well. Because see, if they lose this game, you're going to get off their bandwagon. It won't hurt as much when they see. I want them to win a few games and then just let it unravel.
Well, I say we're going to see what they're made of. We're going to see them play the way they are capable of coming off their bye week. I'm going Dallas 34, San Francisco 21. And if I am wrong about that, I will come right in here and sit in this seat.
What did you say the score was going to be?
34-21.
Oh, 13 points.
Yeah.
Oh, give me those 13.
No, I said I'm doing the Vegas.
Give me 10.
No, I'll do 6.
Skip, you said
Vegas says 6.
I'm talking about Vegas.
Why should I do that?
Because you said 13. No. I'm taking 3 less. Give me 10.
No, I'll give you 6.
Give me 8.5.
No, 6.
8.5.
Vegas says 6.
8.5 for 2 cases.
Well,
8.5 for 2 cases.
Wait a second. For 2 weeks, you've been saying that 49ers will win outright on the field.
They're coming off a bye.
So what?
They're rested. They got Sean Lee back.
They do.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
8.5.
Yeah.
For 2 cases.
Nope, 6.
No.
Skip,
you said they're going to win by 13.
For as many cases as you want.
I'm
just doing what Vegas says. No, the odds makers say 6. Take it. I'm giving you that. You're the one who picked San Francisco for 2 weeks.
Look, I get it. You got a gig at the Riviera. I mean, you got your leisure act on. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Give me. Look, you said they're going to win 34-21.
At least people can remember what I have on today.
But you don't like this?
Huh?
I'm quite debonair.
Kind of a yawn, but it's okay.
Skip, you say they're going to win by 13. You won't give me 8.5?
You know, I'm going to remind you of 2 things.
Okay.
I have been campaigning for Revis and Cromartie, and nothing happened through 2 weeks, right?
Right.
So they're going to say, we're going as is. Guess what? Little known fact. The second youngest team in the National Football League is the Dallas Cowboys, second only to the Cleveland Browns. That's how young this team is. So Jerry's going young. I keep telling you this, on defense especially, they're just kids everywhere.
Give me 8.5.
6.
8.5.
Yep. And by the way, you keep hammering me on Jordan Lewis. And what did I tell you the Monday after the draft? I said they stole Jordan Lewis in the 3rd round. Did I not say that?
You said it.
I said he's a late first-round pick, and he will be a player. Mel Kiper came out yesterday with his rookie review. It's his big board that shows he does it off rookie performance versus what he projected before the draft.
Right.
So top of the list, was pretty predictable. No, it's Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
And then Deshaun is 2nd. Guess who's 8th on Mel's big board off rookie performance?
Who?
Jordan Lewis is 8th. And guess who he's ahead of? Myles Garrett, Christian McCaffrey, Jamal Adams, Evan Ingram, Malik Hooker.
Did he watch the tape of the Green Bay game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But he made one hellacious play on the first throw. And then, unfortunately, he's 5 feet 10 inches tall, and Devontae Adams is 6 feet 2 inches tall. And Aaron made a really perfect throw in the perfect spot.
At 21?
Yeah.
I don't see him
Jordan
growing
Lewis
anymore.
is ranked 8th on Mel's big board after he ranked him 49th going into the draft, which would have been in the middle of the second round.
Okay, we'll see where Mel has him ranked at the end of the year.
How about that?
Well, I'm gonna look. We got another 7 segments to come, so I'm gonna give you an opportunity. If you want to think about it, 8.5 for 2 cases of dew, or 4 2-liter bottles. Let me know.
If you had the courage of your convictions, which you do not have, if you had a spine today, you're saying you're being nice today. I think you left your spine at home. You
won't get. Hold on.
I'm giving you
I
6
got no
after
spine.
you picked San Francisco.
I didn't pick San Francisco. I
You
picked the
did
Cowboys.
too. You said it on
I picked the
the
Cowboys.
show for
Okay.
2 weeks.
Go ahead, Joey.
Well, it could be Jordan Lewis's coming out party. Rob Ryan was talking about their takeaways. Cowboys defense has gone 213 snaps without a takeaway.
Don't remind me.
So we've got C.J. Beathard. It might be the day.
Okay.
We'll see. No mercy. Lonzo Ball's first game in the NBA did not go as planned. He made just 1 shot and finished with 3 points as the Lakers were blown out by the Clippers. Patrick Beverley shut Lonzo down for most of the game. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
There.
Good morning.
I was at
you
the
were
game.
at the game.
Yes.
What did you see from Lonzo?
Well, obviously not much. Let's start by saying let's stop the Magic Johnson comparisons. Stop the Magic Johnson comparisons. But for those that want to write him off, look, John Stockton did not even start for his first year and a half. Gary Payton averaged 8 points and 6 assists his first 2 seasons, and he averaged less than 5 assists his 3rd season.
Right.
So guys develop at different paces, and those 2 spent much more time in college, obviously, than Lonzo Ball did. Secondly, for all the good that his dad's mouth has brought him, and he may have even talked him into being the 2nd pick, I mean, with the hype he created.
Yeah.
Not that Lonzo wasn't a great player.
Magic fell in love.
He may have gotten drafted, but LeVar did create such a firestorm of hype that it was hard for the Lakers not to take him. I'm not saying they would not have. I'm not saying that. But he also, the negative is that dudes are going at him. And with that being the case, you probably couldn't have gotten a worse opponent for a debut than Patrick Beverley.
Worst case scenario.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, somebody else might have put 30 on him.
Maybe.
But
not lock him up.
No,
like
they
that.
wouldn't have been at him defense. They probably wouldn't have picked him like Beverley did, pushed him around.
Yep.
And Beverley told him after the game, he said, because of your dad, guys are going to come at you. And then tonight, of course, is it tonight they play Phoenix?
No.
Or tomorrow? Their next game, I believe, is Phoenix, though. Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
So,
But that's a different story. You got to
he's a good defensive player,
but
too,
he
though.
is. No, he
yeah,
is.
not Beverley, but he's strong and good defensively. All that said, here's some of my observations. Well, first, I talked to a scout this morning.
Tonight?
It's tonight.
Yeah.
It's tonight. I talked to a scout this morning, and I'm getting tired of hearing this from guys, and you guys have heard it too, but this is, I don't know how many people have said he's out of shape. Like this scout who was at the game last night said he's out of shape.
Lonzo.
How many times? Yes.
Well, he
we
missed
keep
the last
hearing that.
4 preseason games.
But we've heard that time, you know what I mean? Like
His
the
first
workout with the Lakers, we hear it time and time again. So that's one thing. 2, he does have to get stronger, and he will. He's, 19 years old. Mm-hmm. But I think that hurts him as far as finishing at the rim. You know, he didn't finish well at the rim yesterday. 3, they didn't get out in transition, and that's where he's at his best. passing ahead, getting the ball up court. They couldn't run yesterday, so that hurt him. In the half court, because again, he doesn't finish great at the rim yet, he doesn't have tremendous blow-by speed. Like, he can get by you, but he's not like a Dennis. You know, he's not just going to blow by guys. And the fact that he can't do that, nor is he a threat in the mid-range because of his shooting style, that limits him. So we know for the most part, he's either got to finish with a layup or shoot a three. And when you know he's got to shoot a three and he's not an all-world athlete, you can get up on him and crowd him. So that was something Beverly was able to do. I see that being something he's going to have to overcome. And the Lakers' lack of three-point shooting hurts him too. Like, Brook Lopez is like their biggest three-point threat. And like, not even being funny.
Jordan Clarkson can shoot a little
He's a very good offensive player, but, you know, not a knockdown shooter. And so that hurts him. They only hit 4 threes. All that said, I'm not, you know, I still think he's going to be a very good player. I'm certainly not throwing him out at this point. But he's going to have things he's going to have to work on, and he's got to be ready for these guys coming at him.
Go ahead, Skip.
Yeah. All right. 19 years of age. It was a big deal that he missed the last 4 preseason games with an ankle injury. And I told this man, Shannon Sharpe, earlier in the show, if LeBron gets this excuse, you got to give the kid some excuse that LeBron wasn't in peak shape.
But he did have
night.
29.
He did have 29, and he played 41 minutes with a 30-minute restriction, and he looked in shape to me. I'm with you. Lonzo did not look in game shape to me last night. But I think Patrick Beverly is simply the best point guard defender in basketball. And the chip on his shoulder was never bigger than it was going into this game because obviously Patrick did not get drafted. He wasn't big baller brand. He had to go to Greece and go to Russia and then just fight his way up from the bottom to where he is now. And God bless him. I'm proud of him. And I know him. I like him. I like what he's made of. He's a good guy. And he said nice things about Lonzo after the game. He told Lonzo, as you point out, this is because of your dad. Everybody's going to be coming at you, and nobody any more than this guy did, Patrick, last night. But he said after the game, make no mistake. He's a great talent with a good feel for the game. So given the magnitude, given the hype, given the Magic Lonzo opening night, which became Nightmare, I didn't think he played all that badly because it wasn't like he turned it over 10 times. He turned it over twice. He did have 8 rebounds, in the first half, which is, he can rebound the basketball. Yeah. And there were at least 5 times early in the game, this is the guy who really disappointed me, that Brandon Ingram did not cash assists that could have been cashed from Lonzo Ball. Brandon Ingram, we had Magic on the show, Magic Johnson, the other day, and one of the big points was, number 1, beware of Patrick Beverly on opening night, but number 2, I've been telling Brandon, you have to go up stronger than you did last year. You can't shy from contact. Well, you want to talk about playing soft last night? Because sometimes you think the Clippers play soft, and he made the Clippers look like the bad boy Pistons, right? Just going up soft and tentatively. They were all tentative. Everybody was tight from the start. But then Brook Lopez and Andrew Bogut, I thought they could protect the rim a little bit. They got annihilated by Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. Like, DeAndre gets 24 rebounds. I know he's capable of doing that. But Blake Griffin just terrorized both of them in the paint. And Bogut looked like, and I know he's coming off the injury. He broke his leg at Cleveland last year. But I was more disappointed in the Lakers as a team than I was in Lonzo.
I get you. I mean, Ingram was the biggest disappointment. And he's becoming kind of a disappointment. Again, it's early.
Well, if he can't take it up a level this year, then they're in trouble.
There are real questions. I've heard a lot of people say there are real questions about his personality. He's such a nice guy. And he doesn't have that dog in him that a lot of people feel like. You don't have to be a complete dog, but you have to have some inkling.
Well, he need to be a priest or something. I'm trying to win games. All this niceness bull jive. I'm trying to win games. So I need you to give me something, because this right here ain't going to cut it. 3 of 15 ain't going to cut it. I don't want Brook Lopez shooting 5 threes a game at 7 feet tall. I get it. He can make those shots. I want him around the rim. I want him posting more. He needs to be 20 and 10. And he doesn't need to take 19 shots to try and get it. and I told Skip this. Skip thinks they're going to make the playoffs. I don't see it.
You still think that's
heck
it?
yeah. Oh, so I'm going to back off after one
I mean,
game?
you were out on a limb.
Let's be prisoners of the opening nightmare moment. I'm not going to do it.
We were giving you an out. That's all.
I'm not. I don't need an out.
Because you were out on a limb.
He needs an
just
out off the
before
San Francisco Cowboys pick. That's what he needs an out on. By the way, real quick, I'm going to give you one more chance on that. I'll give you 6.
8.5.
You picked it 24-23.
Yeah.
I'm giving you 6 points.
I need Skip. You picked it 34-21.
Yeah, I got confidence in my team.
I just want 4.5 less.
I'm giving you 6. It's what Vegas says. It's a 6-point game. I'm giving it to you for 3 cases of due. You name the cases.
I tell you what. Give me.
Have guts. Have courage.
Give me 7.5.
Come on. Do something that Brandon Ingram couldn't do last night. Have some courage.
I ain't got no dog in me. I ain't got no dog in me.
No dog.
I'll give you Ingram was more of a disappointment than Ball.
He was.
Because he's second year and he's supposed to be a star. But you can't say the rest of the Lakers were more disappointing than Lonzo.
Well,
Lonzo
I'll tell you what was impressive to me was I was down on the Clippers. I told you yesterday. They looked really good. Now, maybe the Lakers made them look good, but bottom line on this young man, this is the guy I'm betting on because Magic's betting on him, and I'm betting on Magic and Lonzo. And I'm going to remind you, you can say it was Summer League, but what happened on opening night in Summer League, he was terrible. He shot 1 for 11 from 3, and everybody says, you can't shoot it with that funky motion. And he bounces right back, and he wins MVP of the Summer League.
If you don't mind me asking, of those guys that played in Summer League, how many of them on NBA teams now?
They were watching just like us last night.
They were watching,
okay.
And they want their shot, and they're going to take their pound of flesh. This kid will figure it out on the fly.
I think
he's always figured it out.
I think Chris and I believe he'll be a good player. We just don't see transcendent like you see.
I do.
But you had LASIK surgery, so you can see stuff that we can't.
I think he could be special. I definitely think he can be special. I don't think he's Magic. But if I've said Jason Kidd. I mean, like you said, that's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
I think he can be special. But Lonzo's going to need teammates to score, too. Because he's not going to be a huge scorer.
No.
Ever. I mean, he might at some point average 17 or 18, 19, but he's not going to be a huge scorer like most of these point guards today. So he's going to need his teammates, to help him out, and he got no help last night. But he's got a lot of things he's got to work on, too. And this may take a while for him to develop.
And just remember this. There was a key point in this game. Remember, they rallied back, and they were down 2 when Luke Walton pulled out Lonzo and sat him for the next 6 minutes. When Lonzo came back in the game, it had ballooned to 10, and it was starting to unravel. So I think it was because he thought he's a little overhyped, he's a little tight, and he's not ready to play. He's not in game shape, just for the record.
Magic said they got room for 2 max players next year.
Well, these guys better play better if they want to get 2. Especially your guy.
Oh, we're going to
They better play a lot better if they want to.
He's a rookie. We had high expectations
for the record. See, this isn't the NFL where you only play 16. You actually play 82 games. So now there are 81 left. Believe it or not, 81 more games.
They win tonight.
How
you believe they win tonight?
Yeah, I do.
How big is the window for a week for Skip to come off this playoff prediction?
Oh, please.
Skip, you know
how many months?
If they were in the East, maybe.
Yeah.
No way.
They're not making
no way.
Prisoners of moment.
No, I didn't think they were making it anyway.
Well,
the Lakers know they're not making it.
One thing is for sure, for everyone that thinks that he is entitled or spoiled or he hasn't had to work his way up, he's going to earn it this year because they are going to come after him. So he'll be introduced to the big boy NBA real quick. No mercy. The new-look Oklahoma City Thunder blew out the Knicks last night. Russell Westbrook already had his first triple-double of the season with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 16 assists. His new teammates Paul George and Carmelo Anthony combined for 50 points in the win. Shannon, how impressive was OKC?
I was impressed. I was impressed by Russell getting his teammates involved. 16 assists, a triple-double.
Do you realize those words came out of your mouth? That's the first time those words have ever been uttered by anybody, anywhere, at any time?
I was impressed.
Getting his teammates involved?
How about this, Skip? He shot the ball. He only had 12 shots last night. There were 12 times last year in which he had a 12-shot quarter. What is the likelihood that Russell Westbrook ends the season with the 3rd most shot attempts?
0.
Exactly. Even when he had James Harden and Kevin Durant, he was a high teen shot attempt guy. So I'm supposed to believe now, oh, he's changed his ways. I'm not impressed with Melo. Melo had 22 points, but it took him 20 shots. Melo is a volume shooter. So is Russ. Now, Paul George is not a volume shooter. He's better equipped. He's probably, of the three guys, he's most equipped to be able to do damage without the ball in his hands. Melo and Russ, they're ball dominant. They need the ball. Carmelo didn't shoot the ball. I mean, 8 of 20? That's not good. He was 3 of 10 from the three-point line. So I'm not in love with that. But give him credit. It's early. Again, Russ triple-double. But Paul George, new team, Melo, new team. But they're playing the Knicks. How many games we actually think the Knicks are going to win? Even in the East, Skip.
You want to talk about Porzingis or bust?
Yeah.
Because he got 31 and they busted.
And so I'm impressed with Russell distributing the basketball. But can I get like 15, 20 games before I can really judge this? Because I don't see Russ averaging 12 shots a night.
This was, just idealistically, it was the perfect blueprint for how this should work and could work.
Right. But
if you follow this blueprint, you got a shot, man. I mean, you could challenge San Antonio or Golden State doing this.
Right. But
and remember, Russ, he had a triple-double, so he's happy. He got his in his own way. But as you say, he took only 12 shots. So Russell Westbrook is a very shrewd operator of a basketball player and a quote-unquote point guard. And he had two not-so-hidden agendas to me last night when he came out. He wanted to, number one, make sure that Melo got his against his former team. That he could show out and show them up. And I guess you could say he did. They won huge, and he had a decent game. And then Russ wanted to show all the haters and doubters that he had heard from out there that he could sacrifice, he could defer, he could make this work, at least for one night. And he did. It's perfect. I mean, if you could keep on keeping on this way and he could get his triple-double with low shots, which is possible. I've told you 100 times, I hate the triple-double stat because it should require you to score at least 20 points. But if you can only get to 10 and have a triple-double, and Russ can get his 10 rebounds and his 12 assists or whatever it's going to be, well, then you can still average a triple-double. So he could do it on lower shots. Will he be happy taking lower shots? No, he will not be happy. And those two are going to clash. I'm sorry, I'm going to dig in on this one. Carmelo ultimately will not be happy playing with Russell Westbrook, and maybe vice versa. And as you pointed out, and I said going back 3 years ago, Kevin Durant couldn't take Russell Westbrook. So you think Carmelo, who's even more, he's way more of a ball hog and less of a passer than Kevin Durant was. You think he's going to be happy?
No.
Well, now we're down to what does Russell want? He got his MVP. He got a season-long triple-double.
In the record books forever.
Do you want to win? Seriously. Because if you really want to win, if you want to match Kevin with a finals appearance, who knows? But could they win it all with this? I don't think they have enough depth. But do they have the firepower in their starting five with Steven Adams and a Robertson who can really defend? Do they have enough firepower to compete in the West? Yeah, they do.
Let's think about this, Skip. Carmelo's stat line was 22, 1, and 1. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist.
Okay. Well, that's not that unusual. That's who he is.
Now, do I believe Russ is going to be happy taking 12 shots? No. I don't believe they can win consistently with him taking that fewer shots. Some nights he's going to have it or think he has it going, and he's going to be a volume shooter. He's going to be in the 20s. Now, we remember that playoff game, Skip, where he had 43 shot attempts. And at one point, he was like 17 to 22, and then he ended up 17 to 21, and he ended up 4 of 18 in the fourth quarter. He's a volume shooter, Skip, and I get it. Yeah, I have the MVP. Yeah, I have the triple-double record, so I'm in the history books forever. But it's hard for a guy when he had that level of success to all of a sudden go back to tailor it back and says, okay, I'm only going to take 15 shots. I don't see how he does that. Carmelo is going to want the ball more. Paul George, he can play off the ball. Can Paul George dominate the ball? Sure, but that's not really his game.
No.
Carmelo, in order for him to be successful, he needs the ball.
Sure.
Russ, in order for him to be successful, he needs the ball. He needed the ball so much so there was a 7-foot guy that was a better scorer, a better player than he was, says, I can no longer take this.
Don't tell Russ that, though. I mean, Russ never thought he was a better scorer or a better player. And I don't think Sam Presti and the Thunder brass thought that Kevin was a better player.
Well, they might not think it, but everybody, well, Sam Presti is a good basketball guy.
He is.
He knows that Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall with no offensive weakness. The guy shoots 50% from the floor. He's shooting upper 30s from the three-point line. He's a 90% free throw shooter. He has no weakness. He can post you, mid-range game.
Yep.
No, there's nobody can effortlessly score the ball like he can.
Nope. And how many games will the Oklahoma City Thunder win in which Russell Westbrook is the leading rebounder with 10?
None.
Leading. Steven Adams had all of 5 rebounds last night, making all that money. I don't know. And this is just me. Big picture, and I really carefully watched this game. It looked like 3 good friends playing a pickup game.
Right.
Like, oh, it's your turn now.
Right.
Oh, it's your turn. No, it's my turn this time. Because there's no real ball movement. There's no plays run. It's just like Russell would say, here, you go this time.
What happens when you get in a close ball game?
I don't know.
And Russell
What happens in a close ball game is Russ says, get out of my way.
Russ did have 7 turnovers, though.
But he always has 7 turnovers. I mean, that's just like, that's who he is.
Well, 7 is a lot less than the 26 that the Knicks had.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean,
Yep. Good point.
I don't
They spread it out, though.
They evenly distributed
they got everybody that played, well, only one that didn't was Damian Dotson, and he only played 2 minutes. But if you played more than 3 minutes,
you got
you turned the ball.
You
turned the ball over.
Porzingis and Kanter were the only Knicks players that scored double figures, so be a long season for the Knicks.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Keep an eye out for a new weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.